poppin', YouTube family? It's your boy, The White. Welcome back to the channel, Silverback Sea Eyes. Hope all is well with everybody. First off, do me a huge favor. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And punch that bell icon so you'll be notified when I post new content. Now, today, I plan to probe back off into a very, very popular topic within the fragrance community. And it's Keep 10 for Life. But we're going to do the designer version of it for the channel. And there's a little bit of a catch with today's video. As far as these designers, these are some of the ones that I've been having since the beginning of this channel. Ones that deserve their flowers, but are excellent fragrances. Keep 10 for life. Keep it locked. Well, let's get down to business. Now, today, these fragrances are in no particular order, but I just want to give you 10 options as far as the designer realm of things that if I was to have lost my collection as of tomorrow, these 10 designers I'd keep. First up, to the house of Tom 44 with Noir Extreme. What can I say that hasn't been said within the community period about this fragrance right here? Beautiful, spicy scent. But it specializes with a coffee note, which is like a, I think it's an Indian dessert, if I'm not mistaken. So you got that sweetness with that. Gives it a little bit of a gourmand touch. But you got plenty of spice, you got some warmth, and you got vanilla well into the dry down. This one here is a very, very good cooler weather scent. You can pull it off on cool spring afternoons, maybe even a really, really cool summer afternoon. But to me, it's ideal for the fall, winter time. One that has been a staple in my collection that I've gave plenty of burn, and it's very, very sexy, grown man type of scent. One of those 10 designers that I definitely would keep. Next one, a really cold weather monster, Dior Sauvage Elixir. While price per mil may be a little bit questionable, but when it comes to the scent, there's nothing up for grabs or up for question when it comes to that. This thing here is super powerful, has made multiple winter time lists on this channel. It's a mainstay when it's cold. It's one thing that you don't want to overspray, but when it comes to the scent profile, spicy, aromatic, got your lavender, so you do have a little bit of the Dior Sauvage DNA mixed in there, but it's one of the ones that decided to deviate from that typical Dior Sauvage DNA and have its own identity and more cool weather friendly. Excellent for a designer fragrance. Next one, definitely been in the community forever and one people love, Spice Bomb Extreme. Vanilla, cold weather once again. Scent profile. This is back when the designer realm of things was at its heyday, and actually going to a fragrance counter in Macy's, Dillard's, and so on and so forth was actually worth it. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some designers that have came out in the last couple years that's worth talking about. Some of them I do have on the way in the mail as we speak, but I haven't spent enough time with them, or you don't even have them in my collection as of yet to be able to make a list like this. But this is a list that I will be updating from year to year. But Spice Bomb, as far as this channel is concerned, has definitely earned its stripes. Next one. Now this one here has got a little controversy behind it because, and that's Proffumo Aquadio, because this particular iteration of this fragrance has been discontinued. Very hard to find. Beautiful scent profile. To me, the best Aquadio that ever was made. They do have a parfum version that's came out. It was one version at first. I think it was like a 2024 parfum version that was a little bit different from this one right here. It wasn't as smoky with the incense. I believe they put some other spice in there, if I'm not mistaken. But it was basically the same fragrance without as much incense, and it had something else. But I'm led to understand now they got a 2025 version of the parfum of Aquadio that's closer to Proffumo. But to me, I haven't got my nose on that one, but at least the 2024 version didn't quite capture all the nuances of this, which would still give this one the edge in my book. I have spelled the 2024 parfum version, but it's an excellent scent. So if you can't get this one because it's discontinued, or it costs your arm and leg to get your hands on it, go ahead and get that parfum, because it's definitely worth the money and will kind of quench your thirst, so to speak, for this scent profile. Another 10 for lifer when it comes to the designer realm for me. Next one, we're going to the house of Givenchy with Reserve Privé. This one here, powdery, refreshing iris, but you get some booze with whiskey and some ambery touches and a little bit of nuttiness and earthiness, well off into the dry down, but from the heart to the dry down. But it's an excellent cooler weather scent profile. I will say, in the world today, when it comes to designers, as you can see by this list, a lot of them are the better ones that are on the market from 3 years ago when I started this channel to today, are cooler weather scents. But there are some fresh ones that are nice, but they tend to kind of jump redundant when it comes to constantly coming out with the same note pyramids within different houses, trying to copy one another and just make sure they kind of ride the wave of successful fragrances on the market. Givenchy, gentlemen, Reserve Privé, get you one. Next one, to a house that a lot of people don't talk about too much, and that's Lalique Ombre Noir. Ambery, spicy, really spicy. Tobacco, also rumored to be discontinued, but the bottles are still on the market right now, especially on Jama Shop. You get a little bit of green and aromatics in there, but you got a wonderful boozy whiskey note, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's whiskey. And within the notes, they listed as cognac, but to me, it smells like a cross between the rum, like the whiskey cognac thing. But I would go with cognac because it's sweeter. Very, very excellent designer fragrance, and one that goes in heavy rotation when I'm going somewhere. I want to be a little bit more playful, not quite as serious, not work oriented, so to speak, but it smells amazing. So if you can still get you a bottle for a reasonable price, and like I said, I've seen them on Jama Shop for around that $75 range, worth every nickel. It's definitely a lifer for me. Next one of my favorite designers in my entire collection thus far, and that's Dior Intense. And this is the 2011 version of this fragrance. While not quite like the original, for what I'm led to understand, when they originally came out with the Dior's Homes in the early 2000s. But this one here still has that powdery lipsticky iris. It does have some woodiness in there. It's sweet. Definitely strong enough to pull through the cold. One that's been a mainstay on this channel. I'm led to understand that there's a 2025 version of this fragrance. I don't know how that's going to come out, but I do know there's millions of comments when it comes to the controversy over the 2025 Parfum version. But I never got a chance to smell the one that everybody talks about that's legendary when it comes to the Dior Homme Parfum. But I would love to get my nose on it, because I wasn't crazy impressed with the 2025 version, even though it smells good. Hearing the legendary rumors of the older batches of the other formulation, I wasn't impressed. This one, get you one while you can. Next one, we're going to the house of Chanel with Allure Homme Edition Blanche. Now, this is the Eau de Parfum concentration, not the Eau de Toilette. I'm led to understand that the Eau de Toilette was a little bit brighter, and it is also discontinued. So I actually, on a cruise ship, was able to get my hands on the Eau de Parfum. But to me, the Eau de Parfum is excellent. And what you basically get is lemon meringue pie in a bottle. It got a strong lemony creaminess within the opening of this fragrance here that stays fresh, gives a little bit of a summertime gourmand touch. Well off into the dry down, you get some muskiness. It's one that I would always keep in rotation as far as designers in that spring, especially summertime range of things. One that is awesome. It's a lifer. Second to last on the list, we're going to the house, back to the house of Dior with Sauvage Eau de Toilette. Now, this is one of the most sold fragrances on the market when it comes to designers since, I believe it came out in 2015. From all the Johnny Depp commercials and the sales people running up to you when you go in the mall, to Macy's Dillard's, any of them. That was one of the first things since 2015 that they spray on a card and jam down your nostrils when you walk up on them. But with good reasoning behind it, because it's a very, very good smelling fragrance, very powerful, very long lasting, very impactful within the fragrance community, and it's one that would be a lifer for me because that's where it's all started, and it's an excellent scent. Last but not least, we're headed to the house of Yves Saint Laurent, and how could you have a list like this without this one being in it? YSLY Eau de Parfum. One of the most powerful fragrances in this list. What you get is pleasant apple in the opening. You get some woodiness, you get a little bit of spice, but it's fresh, very long lasting, projects down the street. So you don't have to overspray this one to make an impact, but it's one that has made an extreme impact within the fragrance community and just your everyday average fragrance wearer that only wants 1 or 2 bottles in their collection. Chances are they either got their nose on this one, heard somebody talk about this one, or have owned it and probably ran through a bottle. This bottle here has a huge dent in it because it's a blind reach type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Dumb reach type deal. You can just grab this bottle, spray it, and go. But you don't have to douse yourself in it to be able to make an impact when you walk in a room. But I'm yet to run into anybody that said it doesn't smell good. Now, these 10 right here, when it comes to the designer realm of things, would be the 10 that I'd be trying to bag up or put in my pockets or whatever I can do on the way out the door if the rest of my collection was gone. As far as designers is concerned, if I have any fragrances within my collection that you think should have bumped one of these off the list, leave that in the comments. Or if there's some newer ones out there, which I know when it comes to designers, it's kind of hit or miss as far as finding something that's not redundant to what you already own. And if you know of something I need to get my nose on, put that in the comments as well. But other than that, that's my time. 10 for life. Peace.